This is my Sentinel Model 10, circa 1954. Yeah, they're watching Saw in the other room. Yay. Anyway, this machine is the same age as I am. It was also the first recorder I was exposed to when I was 5 years old. It was my grandfather's. He bought it secondhand from a neighbor. By the time I was 10, he decided that I should have it. By the time I was 12, I'd used it up. Not something I would have listened to back then. Now, I said I used it up. How could that be so if I have it? This isn't the original one. This is one I found on eBay, surprisingly complete with the dealer card in it, which has the quick start instructions on the other side. It has basically one head. It's a combo head. It's erase, record, and playback. The problem with these are these styrene reel tables. If you notice these lovely red colored reel tables here, they use the holes in the hub to propel the reel. But the problem with these is, because they're styrene plastic, styrene contracts, it gets brittle, they have a tendency to break. They're secured onto the spindle with a cotter pin. This uses cloth belts for the take up and rewind, as well as your fast forward. There is no tape lifter, so for fast winds, the tape has to be removed, put over the speed change shaft, and that allows you to fast wind without wearing your heads. Otherwise, you could put a big rut in it, which is what happened to the original Model 10 that we had. I still have the carcass out there in the garage somewhere. Anyway, as you can see, this one's actually in pretty nice shape. It's got the typical hammer tone paint finish, and it has the pseudo tweed covering. Now, this is going to be kind of a twofer. In addition to being a tape recorder, and I use this thing quite a bit, I also used it as an amplifier. Now, the amplifier in this thing is 2 watts with a 5 watt peak. Or no, pardon me, 3 watt peak. 5 watts distorted. But yeah, 3 watt maximum. It uses a 6V6 for the audio output, a single one. And it also doubles as the record bias tube. Input for microphone, radio phono, which is where we'll be plugging in our device. And this one's a little weird. It's a 3-conductor jack. So if you used a tip ring sleeve, tip would be the preamplifier out, and ring would be the speaker output. Kind of an odd arrangement, but that's the way this works. So now, you can plug the microphone into a 2-instant PA system. Wow, be a star. Now, I'm going to plug that in, because over here, I have my Lafayette Model PK605 record changer from about 1960. This was my first stereo record changer. Not this one. As you can guess, the original wore out. The original was put into a tabletop Silvertone console, and I used it to death. So basically all I'm collecting is stuff that I grew up with. So we're going to have a little demonstration here of these two in action together as a pair, because this is something I would have done, is paired them up. The mighty 2-watt amplifier and 5-inch speaker. I haven't gotten a plinth yet for this. I'm in the process of doing that, though. Interesting. Must have cracked that one and didn't know it.
Sunshine came softly through our window today. Couldn't tread out easy, but
for some reason, too, the cartridge on this, that's the only amplifier it likes. Everything else it hums. Rich with harmonic distortion.
want to come
Now it is possible to record on this, but when you hit the record in, you're not going to be able to monitor. It doesn't do any feed through of any kind. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually recording the single playing, which if you listen closely, a little raspy sound is the tone arm resonating. And we'll do the playback. Oh, that's right. Have to manipulate that plug first. It doesn't have any RIA equalization, so I do need to set up a little network for that. As you can hear too, the mechanical portion is not real good. It's got a square belt subbing for the round belt that it requires. It's been fully lubed, inspected, all components measured, and it seems to be in factory spec. This is not a hi-fi unit by any stretch. And it's considered, I see many of these things on eBay, where somebody will actually sell these because of the tube amplifier inside, especially towards guitarists and harmonica players. This is not a high quality amplifier in these things. They were made to do one thing, and that's just reproduce this tape as well as it could, but with only 2 watts. And it's dragging a little bit there, you can tell. But other than that, this is a part of my past. Oh, you can hear that? You want to hear it? Listen closely. When it powers down, the audio output tube, which doubles as the bias, you can hear the bias tone scale down or up. That's always been a mark with this thing. So I have a little resto work to do with this. I need to reglue the paper in the lid for one. It's kind of gotten a little separated there. It did come with the original instruction manual, which is kind of cool. And for this one, the part for me that got me was I have the original box as well as the 45 adapter. Granted, none of this is what I would call high-end or high fidelity. And it irks me when I find somebody on eBay selling this type of item as high-end or high fidelity. They're fun, definitely. And for me, they mean something. This is my Technics SP15 broadcast turntable. And there ain't thing one wrong with this. 3 speeds, incredible specs, and I use this for digital archiving. Now, my tape deck that I did use for archiving is long gone. I sold it, which Clyde side, thank you very much for asking me how I could, but had to be done. This is my A-3300SX. It ain't the Akai, but it does a decent job. But you gotta admit, it's a cool looking piece. I love the hammer tone gray with the red controls. It's always been a drooler for me. Anyway, till next time.